Hare Krishna. We'll start with the invocation. Nana Shastra Vicharinakano Nipano Saddharma Samstapako Lokanam Hitakarano Tribhuvane Manyo Saryanakarano Radha Krishna Padarvinda Bhajana Anandena Mataliko Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugo Shri Jiva Gopalako. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishavanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, thank you all for coming. So today we will cover Nectar of Devotion chapters 9, 10 and 11. And then I will answer inquiries submitted by you from the last few classes. The inquiries have piled up a lot, so I will try to answer some today and remainder in upcoming classes. So as we have discussed, to have a 3-column chart, that as we go through these various sadhana items of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, put the items of these sadhana in 3 categories. One is items you are doing right now, as well as items you can do right now. Second is items you should start in near future or which are very easy to adopt. And items that are goals to achieve in near future. Chapter 9 is further consideration of devotional principles, and this describes items number 20 to 42 of the 64 items of devotional service described in chapter 6. So chapter 6, the 20th item. So we have 10 items to do and 10 items to avoid. The 19th item of offenses to avoid was a whole chapter on itself, chapter 8, because it's such an important item. And the 20th item we anyway briefly covered in the offenses to avoid class also. The 20th item is not to blaspheme Krishna or Krishna's devotees. So the key point is that we have to respond to blasphemers in such a way that does not make bad situation worse. The example for this is given in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4 at the start, that first Daksha did an offense to Shiva, and then Shiva's followers counter curse, and then Daksha's followers counter curse to the counter curse, and the whole situation became horrible. So that what we have to do is we have to talk softly, nicely, and our intent should be to bring blasphemers closer to Krishna. We should not start shouting in angry mood. No, that's not how you respond to blasphemers. So Srila Prabhupada says that there are 3 ways in dealing with blasphemers. One is that one should be so expert so as to defeat the opposing party by scriptural references. This is the best way. Second is to give up our life, and devotees should not adopt this option. And the third option is to leave the place and go away if we cannot defeat the opposing party by scriptural guidance, then just leave the place. Questions, comments, realizations on the item number 20? Okay. So now we'll go back to chapter 6 and read a few points. Dhara will go chapter 6, and there's a paragraph starting. The next important items are, and then read the first 5 items.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. The next important items are as follows. 1. One should decorate the body with tilak, which is the sign of the Vaishnavas. The idea is that as soon as a person sees these marks on the body of the Vaishnav, he will immediately remember Krishna. Lord Chaitanya said that a Vaishnav is he who, when seen, reminds one of Krishna. Therefore, it is essential that a Vaishnav mark his body with tilak to remind others of Krishna. 2. In making such tilak, sometimes one may write Hare Krishna on the body. 3. One should accept flowers and garlands that have been offered to the deity and the spiritual master and put them on one's body. 4. One should learn to dance before the deity. 5. One should learn to bow down immediately upon seeing the deity or the spiritual master. Hare Krishna.
So pretty straightforward points. And of course, the tilak one, you can, if you're not already doing it, then start doing it right away. And if your workplace or study place may not allow that, then put water tilak. So when I go to my physical workplace, I put water tilak and go. And it's the same benefit. And the second point that we read about writing Hare Krishna. So this is one of the questions devotee has asked also, that whether they can make a tattoo on the body with the name Hare Krishna or some names of Gopinath. So don't make a tattoo, because that's a permanent mark, and Krishna is absolute. So even though you may not realize that tattoo actually is Krishna's form, and you don't want to take Krishna with you to the washroom. So here when we read, it says write Hare Krishna. So that would be some temporary mark. Say even the Tilak Chandan, they may use that to write Hare Krishna, or during, say, Rath Yatra, they have gopi dots. They may write with that. So those are all temporary marks, not permanent marks like tattoo. And similarly, accepting flowers and garlands, you can dance before Gopinath, and obviously you should bow down before Gopinath and Guru. Questions, comments, realizations?
Prabhuji, one question, just to clarify, even if we see a spiritual master, when the doors of the temple are open, do we bow down or no?
So we have discussed this in our Bhagavad Gita discussion towards the end of chapter 2 on how to offer obeisances. So if it is your initiating spiritual master, and if Gopinath doors are open, then you can offer obeisances to your initiating spiritual master in front of Gopinath. All other spiritual masters, if Gopinath doors are open, you should not offer obeisances. You can just say Hare Krishna with folded hands.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you.
If Gopinath doors are closed in the temple room, other spiritual masters, yes, then you can offer obeisances to them.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
All right. So continuing on the same reading paragraph, Diksha will read the next 5 items, item number 6 to 10 from chapter 6.
Prabhuji, I'll take a minute.
Matan Prabhu can read.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, should I read?
Matan Prabhu, go ahead first.
Okay. As soon as one visits a temple of Lord Krishna, one must stand up. Number 7. When deity is being born for a stroll in the street, a devotee should immediately follow the procession. In this connection, it may be noted that India, especially in Vishnu temple, the system is that apart from big deity who is permanently situated in the main area of the temple, there is a set of smaller deities that are taken in procession in the evening. In some temples, it is the custom to hold a big procession in the evening with a band playing and a nice big umbrella over the deities, who sit on a decorated thrones on the cart or palanquin, which is carried by devotee. The deities come out onto the street and travel in the neighborhood, while the people of the neighborhood come out to offer prasada. The residents of the neighborhood all follow the procession, so it is very nice scene. When the deity is coming out, the servitor in the temple put forward the daily accounts before them. So much was the collection, so much was the expenditure. The whole idea is that the deity is considered to be the proprietor of the whole establishment, and all the priests and other people taking care of the temple are considered to be the servants of the deity. This system is very, very old and it is still followed. So therefore, it is mentioned here that when the deity is on the stroll, the people should follow behind. A devotee must visit Number 8. A devotee must visit a temple at least once or twice every day, morning and evening. In Vrindavan, the system is followed very strictly. All the devotees in town go every morning and evening to visit different temples. Therefore, during these times, there are considerable crowds all over the city. There are about 5,000 temples in the Vrindavana city. Of course, it is not possible to visit all the temples, but there are at least 1 dozen very big and important temples which were started by Goswamis and which should be visited.
9 and 10 also.
Okay, 9. One must circumambulate the temple building at least 3 times. In every temple, there is an arrangement to go around the temple at least 3 times. Some devotees go around more than 3 times, 10 times, 15 times, according to their vow. The Goswami used to circumambulate Govardhana Hill. One should also circumambulate the whole Vrindavana area. Number 10. One must worship the deity in the temple according to the regulative principles, offering arati and prasada, decorating the deity, etc. These things must be observed regularly.
So all are pretty straightforward items. Many of this can be followed by all of you. The one item we read about was about Rath Yatra, that when Rath Yatra procession happens, then follow and pull the chariot, distribute prasad and books. And this item can very easily be on the list of items that we should already be doing or can start doing right away. Questions, comments, realizations? All right, so Ritu will now read, we'll continue that paragraph, items 11 to 15.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. One must render personal service to the deities. One must sing. One must perform sankirtan. One must chant. One must offer prayers. Hare Krishna.
Again, all are pretty straightforward points. And then the next items are 16 to 22 we'll read, which are, if you are putting the count for the 64 items, it becomes items number 36 to 42. Priya will read 16 to 22.
Krishna Prabhuji. 16, one must recite notable prayers. 17, one must taste Mahaprasada, food from the very plate offered before the deities. 18, one must drink Saranamalta, water from the bathing of the deities, which is offered to guests. 19, one must smell the incense and flowers offered to the deity. 20, one must touch the lotus feet of the deity. 21, one must see the deity with great devotion. 22, one must offer arati at different times.
Again, all are pretty straightforward points. Many of these you can start doing if you are not already doing it. Now, these offering prayers. So there are three types of personal prayers that one can offer, and I'll give you Sanskrit names of these prayers, which these Sanskrit names are not there in the Nectar of Devotion book. So you can make a note. So the first type of personal prayer is in Sanskrit is known as Sampraratmika. So let me write down in the chat because these Sanskrit words are little difficult to understand just by the simple pronunciation. Plus, I am also not great at pronouncing them. So let me first write down them in the chat. All right, so I posted in the chat the Sanskrit name. So first prayer is Sampraratatmika, meaning feelingly express sincere sentiments for service. That my Lord, I am praying at your lotus feet that my mind may become attracted to you. In the same spontaneous way, just as a young boy and a girl have natural attraction for the opposite sex. The second personal prayer is Dainya Bodhika, means humble confession to the Lord about one's wretched condition, that there is no living entity more sinful than me, nor greater offender than me. I am so greatly sinful and offensive that I am ashamed to confess my sinful activities. Now, this is the natural position of a pure devotee, although he's not doing any offenses, so he's not sinful, but he's just trying to make a humble confession. And the third personal prayer is Lalasmai, that advanced devotees cry for specific eternal service. For example, from Narad Purana, there is an example given that the devotee is saying, "Oh my Lord, when will you ask me to fan you?" So it's a very personal service to fan the Lord, and it's a very personal prayer which the devotee can ask and desire for. Questions, comments, realizations? All right, that is essentially chapter 9. And now we'll discuss chapter 10. Chapter 10 is techniques for hearing and remembering. So these are items number 43 to 46 of the 64 items of devotional service. So we'll go back to chapter 6 and In the same paragraph that we are reading, Abhishek Prabhu will read items 23 to 26.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, 23 to 26 on the chapter 6, right?
Yeah, the 23 starts with, one must hear about the Lord and his pastimes.
23. One must hear about the Lord and his pastimes from Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and similar books. 24. One must pray to the deity for his mercy. 25. One should remember the deity. 26. One should meditate upon the deity.
So, the number 23 point is in the sequence is number 43 of the 64 is about hearing and Shravanam. So this is the first process of devotional service from the 9 processes of devotional service described by Prahlad Maharaj in 7.5.23. Shravana means we hear from advanced devotees. What all we hear? We hear Krishna Katha, we hear Kirtan, hearing about the holy name, pastimes of the Lord, hear about the transcendental qualities of the Lord. Here are some examples. The material world is compared to a snake bite. I am spiritually unconscious because of this snake bite of illusion. And I am brought back to consciousness by the mantra chanting and the hearing of the mantra and the Krishna Katha. Questions, comments, realizations? Next item number 24, which is 44 in the sequence, is expecting mercy. So one cannot make spiritual advancement just by one's own endeavor. We need Krishna's mercy along with our endeavor. Our endeavor is to show that, Lord, we want your mercy. Devotee expects Lord's mercy. Devotee desires mercy, but devotee does not demand mercy. Because demanding is not in the mood of devotion. Krishna is master and I am servant. Whenever Krishna wants, he will give his mercy. But we surely can call out for his mercy. Example, we chant seriously in a way of calling out, oh Srimati Radharani, oh Krishna, please engage me in services at your lotus feet. So by doing service seriously, I am showing to Krishna that I am serious about my relationship with you. And Srila Prabhupada says in Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.8, some of you devotees from the morning class are going to hear this discussion again. Srila Prabhupada said 10.14.8 is the guide for all devotees on how to live their life. So I will read the translation for 10.14.8. It's a very well-known verse, and this is how the devotee should live. 10.14.8 is, my dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds, and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. So we have to learn to tolerate. Suffering can be transformed as an opportunity for sadhana bhakti to remember Krishna. Accept suffering as Lord's mercy. understanding that it is my karma. And by Krishna's mercy, my suffering is actually minimized. I should actually be suffering more. Plus, continue to offer obeisances and do devotional services while awaiting his causeless mercy. This should be the attitude of a devotee when we say we are expecting mercy, meaning we do not demand mercy, we are simply expecting the Lord to shower his mercy. Questions, comments, realizations? All right. So number 25, which is 45 of the 64, is remembrance, and number 26 is meditation. They both are similar. So remembrance means to think of Krishna in general. Remembrance of Krishna is all auspicious and it also cleanses us from within. While meditation is deeper contemplation compared to remembrance. So meditation is deeper, that one becomes unaware of anything else. So examples of meditation are that one can meditate on the name of the Lord or form of the Lord or qualities of the Lord, the qualities that we discussed in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Kunti Maharani prayers. Then one can meditate on the activities or the pastimes of the Lord, as well as one can meditate on the services that we do for the Lord. Questions, comments, realizations? That is essentially chapter 10. All right, let's discuss chapter 11. These are all straightforward points, so we are going a little faster. So chapter 11 is titled Aspects of Transcendental Service. This chapter describes items number 47 to 53 of the 64 items of devotional service. Ritu will read from chapter 6. Let's see. Items number 27 to 33 from the same paragraph that we were reading. 27 starts with, one should render some voluntary service.
Item number 26. One should meditate upon the deity. One should render some voluntary service. One should think of the Lord as one's friend. One should offer everything to the Lord. One should offer a favorite article such as food or garment. One should take all kinds of risk and perform all endeavors for Krishna's benefit. In every condition, one should be surrendered soul. One should pour water on the tulsi tree. One should regularly hear Krishna Srimad Bhagavatam. That's all, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
So up to point number 33 are covered in this chapter 11. So number 27, which is 47 in the sequence of 64 items, that one should render some voluntary service. So this is servitorship. So servitorship is one of the 9 processes of devotional service. And you can also say servitorship as dasyam. Now this dasyam is not the same as dasya rasa. Dasya rasa is knowing that you are eternal servant of the eternal master Krishna. So that's a relationship. Servitorship or dasyam can be in two ways. The Sanskrit words that I will mention are again not there in Nectar of Devotion. So first of the two ways of servitorship is karma arpanam. Karmana arpanam is also in two ways. One is offer fruits of karma, and second, do 9 devotional service processes. And the second way of servitorship is kainkaryam, means serve in the mood of Krishna's personal attendant. So this is, of course, pure devotional service level. Those who are following Varnashram system are considered devotees because they offer the results of their work to the Lord, but is not pure devotional service. So Varnashram system, yes, it is anukul for bhakti, but it is not pure devotional service. And in Narad Purana, it goes on to state that servitorship is actually transcendental. So the person is constantly engaged in devotional service by his body, mind, and words. Therefore, is at transcendental level. Plus, of course, this will lead you to becoming a pure devotee. Therefore, it is called as transcendental level. Questions, comments, realizations? Item number 28 is one should think of Lord as one's friend. So this is Sakyam. So there are two types of Sakyam. One is to treat Krishna as one's ever protective, well-wishing friend. Example, how Draupadi and Pandavas considered Krishna to be their ever protective, well-wishing friend. And the second type of Sakyam is confidential peers. Now, this is an advanced stage that devotee begins to serve Krishna intimately, foregoing formalities and serving spontaneously, as if they are friends on equal level. Now, the examples for this is obviously the Gopas from Brajvas. Now, Rupa Goswami goes on to say that Sakyam is for really advanced devotees, and it is little difficult to follow for everyone. The closest you can be in the Sakyam rasa is when you are book distributor, when you are doing preaching. That this is Krishna's mission to bring all souls closer to Krishna, and you are helping Krishna in his mission. That's the closest Sakyam activity that you can do. Otherwise, Sakyam is a little difficult and is actually for advanced devotees. Questions, comments, realizations? All right. Rest of the items are pretty straightforward. We'll finish in a couple minutes. So item number 29 is that one should offer everything to the Lord, and this is Atma Nivedam from the 9 processes. And item number 32 is in every condition, one should be a surrendered soul. This is also Atma Nivedam. So what item number 29 says that one should offer everything to the Lord, means this refers to renunciation. And then number 32, that in every condition, one should be surrendered soul, refers to the Sharanagati, that taking shelter of the Lord. Sharanagati is deeper and wholehearted surrender. And item number 30 is one should offer a favorite article such as food or garment to the Lord. So here's a question for all of you. Do I offer the article to Gopinath which is favorite of Gopinath or which is favorite of me? Everybody, please try to answer.
Prabhuji, both.
Okay, rest of you?
Prabhuji, that of Gopinath.
All right.
Yes, Prabhuji. Gopinath's favorite.
Okay, Abhishek?
How do we know what is Gopinath's favorite? Well, in general.
Yeah, so there are devotees, senior devotees and Rajvasis, they can tell you that Gopinath likes so and so. Or if you know the local temple Gopinath, they will have something favorite based on their name. So for example, here in Toronto's Gopinath, his name is Kheer Chor Gopinath. He definitely likes kheer. And I will tell you that Toronto Gopinath likes two things, kheer and fruit. He likes these two things. Devotees know it from their regular services. Plus, of course, there are items in the scriptures. That's how you know. Abhishek Prabhu, so go back to the question. What will you offer? Item which is favorite to Krishna or which is favorite to you?
Yeah, so, yeah, definitely. Like we should move towards offering things which are, well, that's the aim, which are favorite of Lord Krishna.
Okay. Rest of you who have not answered, very practical.
Yeah, what is favorite for Krishna?
Okay. Rest of you who didn't answer.
Prabhuji, normally we should consume whatever is favorable to Lord Krishna
All right.
and should offer the same.
Okay. Rest of you. Okay. So the answer is both are valid, meaning you can offer favorite to Krishna items as well as favorite for me. So favorite for Krishna, of course, that way Krishna is pleased. For example, on Radha Ashmi Day, Srimati Radharani has a favorite item. So we definitely try to offer that to Srimati Radharani on Radha Ashmi Day. And for example, on Janmashtami Day, Krishna likes Makhan. So we definitely try to offer Makhan on Janmashtami Day. And favorite to me item, we also offer that is also pleasing to Krishna because we are getting purified by the process of offering. And this way we are connecting with Krishna. So Krishna has said this in Bhagavad Gita 9.27 that whatever you do, whatever you offer, whatever charity you do it as an offering to me. So for example, some may have dietary restrictions. So you can only consume certain items. Well, you can still offer that to Gopinath, whether or not it is the favorite item of Gopinath. Right? Yes, something favorite for Gopinath you will surely offer. But what is favorite for you or something that you can consume, that is also pleasing to Krishna because you are showing the mood of surrender. So for example, somebody has diabetes. Well, you cannot really offer sweet to Gopinath because who will consume the sweet at your home? Who will honor that prasadam? So you will skip offering that, but you will offer other things that you can honor so that the prasadam does not go waste. Both ways, therefore, favorite to Krishna as well as favorite to me are valid to offer to Gopinath. Questions, comments, realizations?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, when before offering, we are thinking that, no, that's a very practical thing that uh, who will honor the prasad or how will that be honored? Is there not something
Hmm.
like we are thinking about honoring when it is not offered?
Yeah, very good. My spiritual master, his guest Vaishyadas Adhikari, was asked this exact same question many years back here in Toronto Temple. And my Guru Maharaj responded that in the hierarchy of spiritual things, the hierarchy is health is first, second is sadhana, then service. So health comes first. So if you have some dietary restrictions and you are considering this while you are offering, say at your home temple, at the temple, yeah, you can offer all kinds of things because somebody may not have dietary restriction and they will consume those items as prasad. They will honor those items as prasad. But at your home temple, say you have dietary restrictions and you are considering, so that is valid because health comes first. If your health is not there, well, then you will not be able to do sadhana. If you not be able to do sadhana, then how will you do service? So this is the response that my spiritual master gave to the exact same question. Abhishek Prabhu, does that help you?
Yes, Prabhuji, that is very helpful point. One more clarification on this, that sometimes we also not just think about health, we also think about people who will be coming to honor the prasad. Like sometimes new people are coming and we want the food to be prasad to be of certain kind,
Yeah.
so that new people like it. It is not exactly health, but like how should we see that?
Yeah, so that is preaching activity. And that's also okay. So you are trying to please Krishna because what will be the effect of what you are doing? The effect will be those newcomers, they will honor prasadam and they will like it, and down the line they will go on to become potential devotees. So this is going to please Krishna, right? The nectar of devotion is essentially one verse, Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, Jnana Karmadi Anavratam. The third line is very important. Anukulena Krishna Anushilanam. That we do service to Krishna, which is favorable to Krishna and as Krishna desires. So bringing everybody closer to Krishna is what is Krishna's mission. And therefore, this is also okay. Not okay, it is actually perfect that you are thinking how to please Krishna by bringing these newcomers closer to Krishna. Abhishek Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. That was very helpful.
All right. Rest of you. Okay. So the remainder of the 2 points are pretty straightforward. Number 31 says one should take all kinds of risk and perform all endeavors for Krishna's benefit, as well as one should pour water on Tulsi tree. So every morning, you can offer 3 drops of water to Tulsi Maharani. That simply by seeing, praying and bowing down or hearing about and serving Tulsi Maharani is all auspicious because Tulsi Maharani is very, very dear to Gopinath. That is essentially chapter 11. Questions, comments, realizations? All right. I will now answer questions submitted by you all devotees that have piled up a lot. Try to answer many of them today. So the first 2 questions are on the Shraddha rituals. So there's a statement and then there are a series of questions. Question number 1 is, as mentioned, that we should offer Pindadan to forefathers to repay, and the next paragraph it is written that if we surrender unto Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are not obliged to follow the Pindadan. Question is there any level we need to be to not offer Pinda, like doing 16 rounds, initiated, etc.? The answer is, there is no qualification required. Anyone can offer Pindadan. Next question is, do we stop Pindadan process if our parents were a devotee or if we are a devotee? So Chaitanya Charitamrita describes the same statement as in the question, that if one is Krishna conscious, then there is no need to follow the Shraddha process. Next question is, what to do on Pindadan day instead then? The answer is that do devotional service to Krishna on the Pindadan day on your behalf as well as on behalf of the family member. Number 4 says, inquiry is, if there are two sons, one is a pure devotee and other is not, do they have to do Pindadan collectively or just the non-devotee has to do it? Again, there are no rules and regulations for this. It does not matter. Either way, they can either do it together or separate. But of course, the pure devotee would anyway not bother about doing the Pindadan. But say instead of pure devotee, if it's a devotee who is not yet at the pure level, doesn't matter. They can do it together or separate, whatever is their preference. And the next question says that Pindadan has been since generations, but my grandfather stopped it as he is Krishna Bhakta. But if my generation is not as pure devotee as he is, do we need to restart? Again, this is your personal choice. If you are Krishna conscious, or even if you are on the path, then you can, there's no need to do Pindadan. Of course, it is more for one who is more focused on Krishna consciousness rather than being on the path. So if you are Krishna conscious, then there is no need for Pindadan. Devotional service to Krishna covers everything. I will also discuss question number 2 and then I will pause because they are related questions. Question number 2 is, what is the purpose of offering Pindada to the dead if their soul is still alive somewhere? So the soul of the family member lives on Pitraloka, where the soul's food is steam. This is described in Bhagavad Gita someplace. Should be chapter 11, I think. I can't remember. The word uses usna. Usna means steam. So this steam is the food for the ancestors living on Pitraloka. So person doing the Pindadan may not realize that he may end up on Pitraloka as well by this Pindadan process, as is described in Bhagavad Gita 9.25. Sumnima, are you able to read Bhagavad Gita 9.25 translation?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhuji. Just 9.25. Those who worship the demigod will take birth among the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors will go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirit will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me.
So ancestors, that you will end up going to the planet of ancestors. So the better option is to do devotional service to Krishna. And if at all someone wants to do Pindadan, then first offer Bhoga to Krishna and then offer Krishna Prasad to ancestors as the Pindadan. Does that answer question number 1 and 2 and the series of questions for under it?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhuji.
All right, very good. Question number 3. How can we explain to someone not currently on the spiritual path that bhakti is higher than mukti? So in Bhagavad Gita 17.15, Krishna places pleasing speech higher than truthful speech. So first, we should judge whether our preaching will agitate the other person or not and speak in a pleasing manner. So generally for new persons, it is better to stick to basic concepts, say about a soul, about suffering, and try to engage them in devotional service in a subtle manner. Give them prasad. So these are simple things that you should do for newcomers rather than trying to talk about heavy philosophy. So if someone is little more curious to know more about bhakti and mukti, well, then you can state from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25. There are few verses from 32 to 41 which explain this point, that bhakti is superior to mukti. Liberation from material entanglement is automatically served by doing bhakti, just as fire in the stomach digests whatever we eat. Similarly, a devotee does not have to try separately for liberation. Sri Bilva Mangal Thakur explains that if I have unflinching devotion unto the lotus feet of the Lord, then liberation serves me as my maid servant. Bhakti is therefore far better than liberation, because for attaining liberation, one has to undergo severe penances and austerities. On the other hand, devotee simply is engaging in chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and honoring prasadam and does devotional services, uses his tongue and senses in Krishna's service and develops control over the tongue. This is how you can explain, and this is the approach you can take, that start with basics and then take it forward. Does that answer the question? All right. Now, question numbers 4, 5, and 6 are linked questions. Question number 4. When and how do devotees get the sacred thread? The answer is upon second initiation by a bona fide spiritual master, the devotee gets the sacred thread. And question number 5 says, what scriptures describe the sacred thread, the purpose, and the process? So I will bring up on screen Srimad Bhagavatam 3.33.6 is a direct reference for this point. Let me bring up and I will share my screen. All right, let me share my screen now. So I have Srimad Bhagavatam 3.33.6 as the direct reference for this. Subhash Prabhu, can you please read paragraph number 3, which starts Sridhar Swami?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Sridhara Swami especially remarks in this connection, Anena Pujyatam Lakshate. Some caste Brahmanas remark that by chanting Hare Krishna, purification begins. Of course, that depends on the individual process of chanting, But this remark of Sridhara Swami's is completely applicable if one chants the holy name of the Lord without offense, for he immediately becomes more than a Brahmana. As Sridhara Swami says, Pujyatam, he immediately becomes as respectable as a most learned Brahmana and can be allowed to perform Vedic sacrifices. If simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord one becomes sanctified instantly, then what can be said of those persons who see the Supreme Lord face to face and who understand the descent of the Lord as Devotee understands Kapila Deva?
Next paragraph.
Usually, initiation depends on the bona fide spiritual master who directs the disciple. If he sees that a disciple has become competent and purified by the process of chanting, he offers the sacred thread to the disciple just so that he will be recognized as 100% equal with a Brahmana. This is also confirmed in the Hari Bhakti Bilasa by Sri Sanatana Goswami. As a base metal like bell metal can be changed into gold by a chemical process, any person can similarly be changed into a Brahmana by Diksha Vidhana, the initiation process.
So, if a spiritual master sees that disciple has become competent and purified by the process of chanting, then the spiritual master offers the sacred thread to the disciple just so that the disciple will be recognized as 100% equal with the Brahmana. And question number 6 is linked with this, is that what do ISKCON devotees do with their sacred thread in terms of worship? So second initiated devotees hold this sacred thread while chanting the Gayatri mantra 3 times a day. So second initiated devotees have to continue to chant at least 16 rounds of japa of Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day. Plus they also have to chant Gayatri mantra 3 times a day as additional meditation. And this is what they use the sacred thread for chanting the Gayatri mantra. They hold the sacred thread while chanting the Gayatri mantra. Subhash Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, I have got one question on the question number 2.
Yeah.
Can I continue, Prabhuji?
Yeah,
According to question number 2, yes. So our Bhagavatam and all Bhagavad Gita says until the souls get totally purified or until it totally gets into the devotional service of the Lord, it keeps roaming around the world and not getting that position. So he has to come back, right? So what if our ancestors were dead and they are somewhere in this world living in the other form of animal or trees or any other living entities, and we are offering pinda to them?
Yeah, so that's what Pindadan is, that they can be either on Pitraloka or somewhere. Therefore, I said, instead of just offering Pindadan, you offer Bhoga to Krishna and then offer that prasad as Pindadan. That way, the ancestors will somehow get the Krishna prasad.
So is that Prabhuji like we may also become like a forefathers or ancestor of somebody else and he is offering us pinda right now also like that?
It's possible.
Oh, okay, Prabhuji.
But again, don't get into all this. Just Pinda for those who are Krishna conscious, the Shraddh ceremony does not really matter.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you.
Somnima had a question.
Prabhuji, what is the weight of Gayatri Mantra compared to our Mahamantra?
So Gayatri Mantra is an additional mantra to chant for second initiated devotees. It's not a comparison or weight or something. It's just an additional requirement that besides the chanting of at least 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the second initiated devotees has also to chant Gayatri Mantra 3 times a day by holding the sacred thread.
Is it like they get something extra out of that, or does it take closer to Krishna? Or
So it's a deeper meditation. It's an additional meditation that they have to do. And it's only for second initiate devotees who are qualified to do that.
So we hear, other people chanting Gayatri mantra or something. So, are they getting any benefit of that
So
if
Srimad
they're not
Bhagavatam,
devotee?
Srimad Bhagavatam describes that you cannot pick up Gayatri mantra by looking up on Google or someplace. The effect of Gayatri mantra is only when the spiritual master recites the Gayatri mantra into the right ear of the second initiated devotee, and then he starts chanting. That's when the benefit happens. Otherwise, just picking up Gayatri mantra from some place, there's no benefit. It's like a blank capsule.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Diksha?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I have a follow-up question. Like, do ancestors live in Pitri Loka forever?
So Pitraloka is in the material world. Anything in the material world is temporary.
Prabhuji, another question as well. The ones who worship Pitri goes to Pitri Loka, as you mentioned. So when does this happen, Prabhuji? Like,
When you leave the body.
Prabhuji, like, do they not fall back again then?
So Pitralok is not permanent. You are going to Pitralok just because you are worshipping the ancestors, then you will of course fall down. Therefore, I kept saying that offer bhoga to Krishna and offer that prasad to the ancestors as Pindadan if at all you want to offer, but it doesn't really need to.
Prabhuji, is that their highest attainment? The ones who are worshipping Pitri, they like going to Pitri Loka, is that the highest attainment?
Yes.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So does that answer question number 4, 5, 6 about all the sacred thread and second initiation? Okay, question number 7. So 7 and 8 and again are linked. Question number 7. What does it mean when the purport seems to indicate from multiple sources that one can give up occupational duties in place of bhakti and this is acceptable? And this goes on, number 8 or similar, that to someone who is a grahastha, how would freedom from obligations look like? What does free from all other occupations mean? If we are to be free from other obligations, won't we be going against what Lord Krishna has taught us, meaning to do our karma with detachment? So this is actually a very well-known verse, 1.5.17. I will read the translation, that one who has forsaken his material occupations to engage in the devotional service of the Lord may sometimes fall down while in an immature stage. Yet there is no danger of his being unsuccessful. On the other hand, a non-devotee, though fully engaged in occupational duties, does not gain anything. So this applies to pure devotees, that they have nothing to do with the material world because they have no desire for anything material. Hence, there is no need for them to reciprocate with someone. Normally, if someone gives me something, I will reciprocate with something back. So pure devotees, sannyasis, getting items from others as alms, hence there is no need for them to reciprocate. A pure devotees, sannyasis anyway will give spiritual knowledge back to the person from whom they are getting the alms. to whosoever they meet and interact with. So this does not mean that we all arbitrarily run away from our worldly duties. Rather, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, from where this point comes, which I described in question 7 and 8 on the screen, devotional service is glorified in these verses from Canto 1, Chapter 5, verses 17 to 19, that if one takes up devotional service 24 hours, and even if he does not complete his worldly duty, still there is no loss, because one does not lose devotional credits at all, as is described in Bhagavad Gita 2.40 and 6.40. And in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.5.17, the translation that I read, in the purport, the example of Bharat Maharaj and Ajamil are explained, that because they had done devotional service, therefore ultimately they were saved by the Lord. So Bharat Maharaj, yes, he goes on to become a deer in his next life, and then Jada Bharat in his following life, and then he attained perfection in the Jada Bharat third life. Similarly, Ajamil, he had become sinful from first being a devotee. He had become sinful, and towards the end of his life, he called out his son. He was named Narayan. So Vishnu Dutas came, and Ajamil was given a second chance to purify himself. So that's being glorified, that devotional service is glorified, that there is no loss. While on the other hand, if one simply does worldly duties, well, there is no gain at all, because when you leave the body, you leave all your designations, all your opulences here. All these material opulences and material designations, you do not carry them with you to your next life. Devotional service you carry with you to your next life. Therefore, devotional service is glorified in these verses and these statements. Does that answer the inquiry?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. But so it like, if I'm correct, you mean to say that the point here is the glorification of devotional service, and not that we can give up occupational duty in lieu of devotional service.
You are correct.
Thank you.
Question number 9. The distinction between qualification and disqualification may be made in this way. Persons who are already elevated in discharging devotional service will never again take shelter of the processes of rutative activity or philosophical speculation. If one sticks to devotional service and is conducted by regulative principles given by the authorities and acharyas, that is the best qualification. So this is an extract from the scripture. So the question is, these are qualifications for what? The answer is, following regulative principles given by authorities and acharyas are the qualifications to progress on the path of spirituality. Questions on this? Does that answer? Question number 10. Could you please elaborate more how Sayuja liberation is against the devotional ideals and the other 4 types of liberation are not against it? So Srimad Bhagavatam 3.29.13 is the direct answer for this. We have read this verse before. 3.29.13 describes that if there is no service together with liberation, the devotee does not accept liberation, even when liberation is offered by the Lord. Therefore, 3.29.13, if I can read the translation, says a pure devotee does not accept any kind of liberation, is salokya, sarashti, samipya, sarupya, and ekatva, even though they are offered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, if there is no service. So, Srila Prabhupada has translated bhakti as devotional service. Service is the key. There, in Sayuja liberation, one merges. Therefore, there is no scope for service. Therefore, Sayuja liberation is absolutely a no-no for a devotee. Other four types of liberation, if service is also given together with the liberation, then devotee is okay to accept such other four types of liberation plus the service. Does that answer the inquiry?
Prabhuji, in the other liberations, the four liberations, like, is it not that there is always service involved? Like, if there is no service, then what is there in that
It's
liberation? Like, what will people do?
Yeah, it's not mandatory. So some people in the material world, they may not know devotional service, and they say, I'm looking for liberation. And they may end up getting one of those four kinds of liberation, but they don't have intention for service. Well, that is not the nature or the mood of a devotee. The devotee will accept the other four kinds of liberation as long as there is service, because service is essential for a devotee. Abhishek Prabhu. All right. Striking points, I'm not sure I have given this to you before or not, but I'm bringing up on screen. This is from one of the previous classes, not immediate previous, but one of the previous classes. So you have 6 slides. Take snapshot. This is slide number 1. Slide number 2. Number 3. Four, 5, and 6. All right, now I will open up another set of inquiries from one of the other previous class and continue answering inquiries. So my sequence will start from 1 again because this is from a different class. All right, let's see. So again, the sequence starts from number 1 of your inquiries. Question number 1 is, rendering personal service to the deity is not learned by copying other devotees. We need to develop bhakti. Many of us don't have physical deities, but have pictures as starters. Is there a proper way to graduate to deity worship? So it is very good to worship picture of Gopinath, because the standard for Gopinath worship in his Archa Vigraha form, meaning in the deity form, the standards are very stringent. Second initiated devotees are authorized to worship Gopinath in his Archa Vigra form. So if you'll notice, the pujaris in ISKCON, they are all second initiated devotees. First initiated devotees, they cannot worship Gopinath in his Archa Vigra or the deity form. So Krishna's Archa Vigra form standard of worship is the highest. And next down is Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is little lenient. And Gopinath picture is even less stringent process. And worshipping the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the most lenient process. So I have described that one time I offered unwashed bhoga in a store to the Hare Krishna Mahamantra so that I could offer prasad to a beggar because I did not have anything else. So why I could do it is because I offered it to Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the most lenient process, is the most lenient form of Gopinath. So if you have desire to worship Gopinath in his Archa Vigra form, it is very good desire, and you should get first and second initiation. And this is how you qualify to worship the deity form, meaning the Archa Vigra form of Gopinath. Does that answer the inquiry? Question number 2. From items to avoid number 4, says one should not try to read too many books, nor should one develop the idea of earning his livelihood by lecturing on or professionally reciting Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. So question is, isn't reading more better? The answer is, not reading more books refers to not reading mundane world books. For the mundane world books, whatever is bare minimum necessity, yes, that's what you should read and no more. So that's what it's pointing it out to. And next question is, isn't earning livelihood by reciting Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita better than doing materialistic business? Because at least one is earning by making people aware about Krishna. So Srimad Bhagavatam directly says no to professionally reciting Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Srimad Bhagavatam clearly says, should not earn his livelihood by reciting Srimad Bhagavatam because your recitation will be contaminated by the earning money mentality. Now, yes, Krishna also states in Bhagavad Gita 12.8 to 11 with a descending ladder of devotion that highest level is to fix mind on Krishna. If you cannot fix mind on Krishna, then do sadhana bhakti to attain Krishna. If you cannot do sadhana bhakti, then work for Krishna. So yes, if you have desire to work for Krishna, do work at temples, but not for reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. Does that answer the inquiry?
Hare Krishna, yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, I have a follow-up question on that.
Yeah.
How do we see devotee who make livelihood by doing like concert kirtans? Is it the same thing? And they're making money of that.
So they should not be doing it.
Okay.
So there are few things you can do for money. For example, Right now, Dwarkanath Prabhu is an employee in the temple, and previously our dear Kamalakanta Prabhu was in that same role as the kitchen manager. He was also an employee. So those things are allowed. So there are very few things that you can do as earning your livelihood from Krishna's activity. So I mean, temple does need one full-time kitchen manager.
Yeah.
And in between, there was no kitchen manager. And it used to be chaos that everybody used to come and do whatever they would like. But now Dwarkanath, as an employee of the temple, he's earning his livelihood from the temple. That's the only work he does. He doesn't work outside. So that part is allowed because it's helping the temple to be little bit organized as to what goes on, and there is some authority to give directions to others who come and do services. Tara?
Yes, Prabhuji. So we should not attend these kirtan concerts.
Yeah, Kirtan concerts, be very careful that they have this material mindset. Therefore, many devotees across various batches have asked me, oh, I'm listening to so-and-so Kirtan, it is very soothing, and it happens to be some Bollywood or a professional singer. And I say, immediately stop listening to those Kirtan because it's going to contaminate your mind with the money-making mentality that the singer has. You
Yes.
should listen to devotee Kirtans, and they are so very soothing. And this discussion will come up for devotees from batch 6 and 7. This discussion will come up in Bhagavad Gita chapter 10 towards verse 35-36. We'll discuss this same point, that we should listen to Kirtan of devotee. Now the ability of devotee singing Kirtan is coming from Krishna, as well as the ability for materialistic people singing is also coming from Krishna. But the question becomes, which ability is taking you to Krishna? So when you hear devotee Kirtan, that is igniting devotion in you. While if you hear materialistic people, whatever that singing be, even if it is Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but they are singing it out of wanting to make money, well, that is contaminated. So you will also end up having the materialistic desire to make money if you listen to professional singers, even if they are singing Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And you will notice that these professional singers who sing Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they have all these equipment with them that they are having this nice environment and all this hi-fi equipment. And compared that to Srila Prabhupada's Kirtan, if you listen, or even some other pure devotees, they would simply have one kartal or just a mridanga or sometimes even clapping hands. But the devotion with which they are singing, you get goosebumps by listening to such Kirtan of Prabhupada, even when there is no real background music. Tara?
Yes. Thank you.
Question number 3. It has been mentioned in Nectar of Devotion, page 74, that spiritual master can print books. Apart from Srila Prabhupada's books, I have noticed some Prabhuji from ISKCON have written some books. Is it recommended to read those books in future? Yes, you should. Srila Prabhupada wanted all his disciples to write books, and many such disciples of Srila Prabhupada have written many books which you should read. And even other bona fide acharyas in ISKCON who are disciples of Srila Prabhupada's disciples, they have also written books which you can also read. So my spiritual master His Grace Vaisheshkadas Adhikari has also written at least 2 books. One book is about Sankirtan book distribution, and the most recent book is titled 4 Questions. Many of you from around Toronto area got this book from me. So yes, we should read books written by spiritual masters and bona fide acharyas in disciplic succession. So the hierarchy to follow is that first focus on Srila Prabhupada books. And simultaneously, once you get a living spiritual master, simultaneous to Prabhupada books, can also read your living spiritual master's books. And then you can read books written by other bona fide acharyas in ISKCON. Now, there is no limitation for you to not read other acharyas' books ahead, because at times, when you may need some clarification on a topic, it is okay to read books of other acharyas, other spiritual masters in between also, just because you may hear from some devotee you are associating with that so-and-so acharya has written this very good book on so-and-so topic that might be of relevance to you at some point. So yes, focus on Prabhupada books first. Simultaneously focus on your living spiritual master books, and need be for clarification and more in-depth on specific topics, by all means, you can read books of other bona fide acharyas in ISKCON. Does that answer the inquiry?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Sumnima?
Prabhuji, does the same rule apply for videos as well, and the recordings?
So in principle, yes. And at the start of Bhagavad Gita, I have asked all of you that drop off everything and simply focus on what I am giving you, because these videos are in millions. And you will end up wasting so much time not realizing what is right, what is wrong. I have myself also spent a lot of time and going nowhere. So what I give you, I have narrowed down to a lot of important lectures that I give you, as well as the Prabhupada lectures and that I give you for Bhagavad Gita and Nectar of Devotion. There are many more lectures. So Prabhupada, all lectures are spectacular. Prabhupada's Nectar of Devotion, all lectures are spectacular. But I'm narrowing down and giving you relevant to what we are discussing in class, so that you get a lot of benefit. And later on, you can definitely listen to rest of Prabhupada lectures that I have not given you. So right now, our focus is that we should listen to Prabhupada lectures very much relevant to what we are discussing, and then go back and listen to rest of Prabhupada lectures that I have not given you so far. So there's no ban on listening to lectures and videos of other spiritual masters and other acharyas. But understand that some of you, I won't name names, some of you listen to these acharyas' lectures. Now, those lectures are beyond me to comprehend. And I am teaching you. So if you listen to those lectures, just visualize what will be your situation. So nothing wrong with the acharyas. They are bona fide acharyas. They are bona fide spiritual masters, but they are beyond basic comprehension. So are you really getting any benefit? Rather, if you focus the time on first solidifying your basics, that's a better way. And then later on, you can go to listening to these other advanced lectures. Then you get a lot of benefit. So it's a structured process that I'm asking you to follow, although there is no ban on listening to other acharyas' lectures, but I'm asking you to follow a structured process. That way you get the most benefit. Somnima?
Yes, Babuji. So even for books and the videos, it's the same thing, right? I mean, books tend to be slightly more lenient in that terms.
Yeah, it essentially is the same principle, right?
Mhm.
If you have for whether it is books or lectures, if you have a particular topic that you want more clarification, and you know from a devotee that so-and-so Acharya has written a book specific on this topic, or there is a specific lecture on this topic, you can go out of the sequence, meaning the sequence of Srila Prabhupada lectures and your Living Spiritual Master lectures and books. You can go out of the sequence and read and listen. Nothing wrong with that one-off time. Just don't make it a habit that you are going out of the sequence again and again and again. Normally follow the structured process that I'm giving you. And one-off time, if you have need for clarification, by all means, go and listen and read the other Acharya's scriptures and listen to other Acharya's lectures.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji.
Everybody on the same page? All right. Question number 4. It is mentioned in the list that we must visit Vishnu temples. Is there a list of such ISKCON temples around city of Mumbai? So yes, there are about 5+ ISKCON temples in and around Mumbai. Just look up on Google Map and you will find them. Question number 5. What does it mean by the statement that one should not be neglectful in ordinary dealings? So in the name of spirituality, one should not avoid normal responsibilities to family. Therefore, the statement says one should not neglect ordinary dealings. Does that answer? Question number 6. How will I know that this elevated devotee is my spiritual master? Will it be spontaneous call from within that will guide me? How does having a spiritual master elevate a neophyte devotee's mindset, the subtle body? So yes, Krishna will guide you from within when you are ready for initiation. Krishna will guide you something that, say, go to so-and-so place, just so that you have the opportunity to meet your spiritual master. Exactly what happened with me. Now, this choosing of spiritual master for initiation is the role of a mentor. So you should get a mentor and get further guidance or who is my spiritual master or who can potentially be my spiritual master. Right now, I will give you some guidance. This is guidance only. So normally, you will notice that you like to do services with a particular group of devotees, and their spiritual master will generally end up becoming your spiritual master also. Now, you would also be doing services with other devotees who are disciples of another spiritual master, but somehow you don't find comfort in doing services with certain set of devotees, and you find comfort in doing services with certain set of devotees, because your nature And the nature of these devotees with whom you find comfort doing services is similar, and is also similar to the nature of the spiritual master of these devotees. So this is one way of looking at it. Another guidance I will give you is, I will give you the comparison of my spiritual master, His Grace Vaisheshikadas Adhikari, and His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami. So my spiritual master's main focus is book distribution and preaching activity. Simultaneously, my spiritual master also does Gopinath worship. So if my nature is book distribution and preaching, then a spiritual master whose prime nature is also book distribution and preaching, that becomes a good fit. Now, if you look at His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami, his main focus is Gopinath worship. Simultaneously, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami also does book distribution and preaching, but the main focus is Gopinath worship. So if your main nature is Gopinath worship, then a spiritual master like His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami will be a good fit, because your nature and spiritual master's nature is matching, because he's going to give you services according to his nature and according to your nature. Therefore, you will, for those of you who are from Toronto and around area, you will notice that all the majority of pujaris in his Toronto temple are disciples of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami, because deity worship or Gopinath worship is their prime focus. Yes, they all also do preaching. They all also do book distribution, but that is secondary. And my spiritual master, the prime focus is book distribution and preaching. So it depends on your nature, and you can judge accordingly. So again, this is just a guidance. This will vary for your particular situation, and a spiritual mentor will be able to guide you further on this. So getting a spiritual master is not a fashion, but is a serious business to progress on the path of spirituality. So spiritual master knows the ability and limitations of the disciple, and spiritual master engages the disciple accordingly in service. This elevates the neophyte devotee, his mindset and his subtle body. Does that answer the inquiry?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, go ahead.
So, is like the spiritual master choice, this like whom will it be? Is it a thing which we understand with our practice, or is it a predestined thing?
Previous time as in?
Predestined. Like there are examples in Shastras where devotees get vision that this is your thing.
It's both. It's already predestined who is going to be our spiritual master, and from scriptures we understand, oh, this is my spiritual master.
So like our effort is just going towards that particular devotee, but like Krishna has already made that, like it's already done for us.
Yeah, you are correct. Krishna has already destined. It's already set who is going to be our living spiritual master. You are just endeavoring to come to that point when you are ready to get initiated.
And that readiness may uh, it may not come in this life, like
it's possible.
It can
yeah, it's possible that it may happen in future life.
Thank you.
So we discussed this in Bhagavad Gita at our class yesterday for batch 6 and 7, which was 7.19, that 4 kinds of people come to Krishna described in 7.16. And 7.19 says that after many lifetimes, somebody will come to recognize that Vasudeva is everything, and then he will surrender. So for some, it may take many lifetimes. But spirituality is not lost. We discussed this multiple times, including today, that Bhagavad Gita 2.40 and 6.40 says, spirituality is not lost. You just continue from where you left off.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Does that answer the inquiry? Okay. Question number 7. Could you provide any advice on how to take care of Tulsi Maharani plant in Toronto, given the weather is so different from India, especially in terms of watering and cold protection? Please, could you suggest any authentic in-person stores to buy Tulsi Maharani in Toronto area? So Tulsi Maharani is very dear to Krishna, and Tulsi Maharani is very fragile in cold weather conditions like Toronto area. So all the Vaishnavis from our classes can contact Vrajalalana from Toronto Temple, and she can guide you. She's the expert, as well as all Vaishnavas from our classes can contact Shubal Prabhu from the Toronto Temple on how to take care of Tulsi Maharani. So the devotee who has asked this question, I already sent the Vrajalalana's contact number. And if anybody else wants either Vrajalalana or Shubal's contact, you can connect with me. In terms of getting Tulsi Maharani, don't get it from any store. So many times at the Toronto temple or your respective temples, they will have Tulsi Maharani in small little pot to give away. Or you can connect with the devotee who serves Tulsi Maharani in the Tulsi Maharani room, and they will get you a little Tulsi plant from the temple, and then you can take that home and serve Tulsi Maharani at your home. Does that answer the inquiry? Question number 8. Where do followers of Lord Buddha or other religions go? Now, when Buddha was asked about God, Buddha basically said, don't bother about it. First, focus on sadachar, means behave properly. Then we can talk about other things. And when Buddha was asked philosophical questions, he basically avoided philosophical questions. So if you step back, that when Buddha had appeared, at that particular time, people were misusing the Vedic scriptures to kill animals a lot for tongue's taste. And Buddha said, can you not see that the animals are suffering? The animals feel so much pain. They suffer so much. Don't you feel the pain of the animals? So because of the misuse of Vedic scriptures, Buddha rejected the Vedic scriptures, because Buddha wanted all these people to stop using Vedic scriptures to justify animal killing. So once you reject scriptures, we cannot really know about God very clearly, because knowledge of God comes from scriptures. So Buddha's focus was getting people out from lower level of consciousness to relatively higher level of consciousness, say in the mode of goodness. Therefore, his focus was on sadachar, that behave properly first. So Buddhism religion, yes, will elevate you, say, to the mode of goodness, but they cannot take you beyond the realm of matter. To get beyond the realm of matter, one needs to have positive knowledge about spirit from scriptures. So from this above discussion, these are the facts. And for the destination question, my answer is my Pratyaksha Praman. The destination will depend on the law of the last thought described in Bhagavad Gita 8.5 and 8.6. Does that help with this inquiry? All right. Question number 9. By the definition of atheism, is everyone more or less atheist? So atheists do not believe in existence of God. So everyone is not atheist. There are many who believe in existence of God. You all also believe in existence of God. So everyone is not atheist. It's only those who do not believe in existence of God, they are atheist.
Hare Krishna, sorry. Like where the point which I was referring was that it was written that those who don't believe in scriptures or Vedas, I'm forgetting, but those were called atheists.
So a hierarchy discussion will happen in Bhagavad Gita chapter 17, that in essence, no faith does not exist. Atheists have no faith in the existence of God. That is their faith. And when we say atheist and theist, atheist we are referring to no faith in scriptures and no faith in God, because the knowledge of God comes from scriptures. So they have their own faith, that's a different story. But they don't believe in existence of God. That's what determines atheist. And of course, they don't have faith in scriptures also that talk about existence of God. Abhishek Prabhu?
So, we are not when we say scriptures here, we don't necessarily mean scriptures of like Vedic origin, like our scriptures. Like what about
So
other religion scriptures?
The other religion scriptures are written by humans. They are not eternal scriptures. By scriptures, we are referring to eternal scriptures such as Vedas, Puranas, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Upanishads. These are eternal scriptures. The other religions, whatever books they call as their scriptures, they are not eternal. They are written by humans who have imperfections. And therefore, those books of the other religions are also imperfect.
On this point, like I was talking to a Christian and he was always referring to Bible as words of God. Are they not revelations? Like
so Bible is authorized scripture. That we discussed this yesterday also in Bhagavad Gita class. The challenge with Bible is that they don't have authorized purports. And ordinary people who are like whatever Christian elevated level or Christian priest they have, they are writing purport, but they are subject to defects. So the challenge with Bible lies in the fact that they don't have authorized purports. Therefore, people are misunderstanding and creating their own interpretation. Otherwise, Bible is authorized scripture.
thank you.
All right. Question number 10. How to understand of residents of Puri and Dwarka have 400 bodies? Is it true now also? Does everyone physically present in Dham is sure to going back to Vaikuntha? So the query is from a paragraph in Nectar of Devotion, which reads, even the demigods from higher planetary systems see the inhabitants of Jagannath Puri as having exactly the same bodily features possessed by one in Vaikuntha. That is, the demigods see the inhabitants of Jagannath Puri as being four-handed. So this is from Nectar of Devotion, chapter 7, the section which is titled Residing in a Sacred Place. Therefore, the question is, should we also see every resident of Dham like this, how demigods are seen as the four-handed form? So the point is that based on characteristics described in scriptures, you can judge that some residents of Puri, Dwarka, Vrindavan are always fixed in remembering Krishna. So such residents could be pure devotees, and we have to treat them as pure devotees, depending on the characteristics. So we do not have the vision to be able to see their four-handed form. All residents of Dwarka and Vrindavan, Puri, by default cannot be assured to go to Vaikuntha, because nowadays many materialistic people live in such holy places for their business. So yes, there is positive atmosphere at such holy places. For one to advance on the path of spirituality. But it still depends on what one is doing at such holy places. Does that answer the inquiry?
Yes, true. Thank you.
Question number 11. How do we search our spiritual master? How do we know that one of the Maharaj could be our potential spiritual master? What am I supposed to feel within myself while I choose my spiritual master? So I already answered about the spiritual master point. The last part of the question about what am I supposed to feel is I will answer right now. Now, you all have your relatives, your siblings, your parents, and you have a particular rasa or a relationship with them. Can you describe what do you feel about your siblings and your immediate family? Can you? Some of you? Yes, no? I thought it was a simple question. Exactly, the silence speaks for itself. So this feeling is a personal feeling. For many devotees, including myself, my spiritual master, His Grace Vaisheshikadas Adhikari, I've been saying that somehow I have a bond with him, and I've been having this one-on-one connection for some 10 plus years before taking shelter and before taking initiation. So this is a personal relationship. What you are supposed to feel is a very personal connection that you will have. And you will notice that when you listen to spiritual master lecture, so say you are trying to narrow down a spiritual master for initiation. So whichever spiritual master, say you are listening to 3 particular spiritual masters to narrow down, all are bona fide spiritual masters. All are talking exactly correct points from the scriptures. But only one of the spiritual master lecture will be very connecting to you. You will feel connected. Now this is connection is, you can't really explain. This is a personal feeling. The one-on-one link that you have to develop, which I cannot explain exactly how you all couldn't explain that what kind of feeling you have for your family compared to, say, other friends. So it's a personal relationship that you develop. yes, the spiritual master is your father, because he gives second birth, meaning awakens the soul. That is the second birth. Does that help with this inquiry?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, one more point on this, like how should we see if uh, like someone is aspiring from a spiritual master, but then they either stop giving initiation or leave the planet or don't want to give initiation?
So what's your inquiry? That you were aspiring and then
Yeah, like how should we see, like, because the point you're making is that we hear someone and then we get inspired.
Yeah.
So it's a further follow-up on that.
Yeah, and then you are saying that that particular spiritual master stops giving initiation.
Yeah, or they may also leave the planet.
Yeah.
They
Well,
may be inspired.
yeah, then find another spiritual master. So yes, you are correct that you are getting inspired. Now understand that these spiritual masters, it's not that each one of them is unique in terms of the main focus they have on the path of spirituality. So I gave the example of my spiritual master as book distribution and preaching being the prime activity. Well, there are other spiritual masters also having this as their prime nature. And I also gave the example of His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami as Gopinath worship as the main. Well, there are other spiritual masters also having this as the main, meaning your nature that you had with a particular spiritual master will also very easily fit with some other spiritual master having the same nature, and they will connect you to the parampara. So you will, yes, I understand spiritual master is still a one-on-one link, but the connection with the spiritual master and to the parampara will still be possible because the nature will be similar to the other spiritual master that you take. And this is a very live example because His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami left his body just about last few months back. So there were few disciples waiting to get initiated, and now they are not yet initiated, and Gopal Krishna Goswami has already left the body. So they will just find another spiritual master to continue in the parampara. Does that help?
So like based on your previous answer, this decision that Krishna makes, that who our spiritual master is, like there is some fixation, but it's like it's kind of contradicting that answer.
So
Sorry.
the fixation is the nature, not the individual. Right? So there are few spiritual masters with the same nature of whatever your nature is. You can pick one of them and your progress will be smooth. That's the fixation. The nature is the fixation, not the individual. Abhishek Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So we are just about at 11:30 a.m. Toronto time. There are 2 questions left. So I will answer in subsequent class. Let me give you striking points from the previous class. So at least that is given. So you have 5 slides. Take a snapshot. Slide 1. Slide 2. Slide 3. Slide 4. And slide 5. All right. Are we okay to stop here?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.